Okay, so here we are at the Jeep, and this pulley here is the alternator there, just there. So the pulleys that we're looking at for replacing are this one here, and just moving along, this one here. So in context of where they are in the engine, it's that one there, that's an idler pulley. And then that one there, that's also an idler pulley. So the belt tensioner is that one just there under my finger. So we've got to get a nut onto that, no, a socket onto that, to then be able to release that and release this belt off. Now you can see that there is very minimal space down there to get any kind of tool with a socket on. And I'll show you what I mean with the breaker bar first of all, before we use the actual tool. But one tip I would say before you take this belt off is, if you don't have a diagram of the routing of this belt, then make sure you draw one out before you do that, because you'll get into trouble. Now there should have been a label here, but that's fine because I've got the manual for this car and it does give you the diagram for the routing of this belt. So let's get started. If anybody can tell me why the EGR solenoid is making that noise when the engine's off, if you could let me know, that would be marvellous, because it is really annoying. So just taking a look at the profile of the tool that we're going to use to take or release the belt tensioner. This is the belt tensioner tool here, with a shallow socket that it comes with. So that's a 15-inch shallow socket that it comes with, and then if you look at the profile compared to this 1/2-inch breaker bar, it is, from the back edge to the front edge, is quite a bit different, and that's why these can be a real lifesaver, because getting this into a tight space as opposed to getting that into a tight space, it makes all the difference. And let's just have a little quick look. I don't think we're going to be able to get that onto that socket. Oh, you can. Okay, so let's just, so it's onto the socket there, just about, but it is really quite tight in terms of it's right up against there for moving it, and there's not an awful lot of movement there. So if we try this one, okay, so you can see there the room that you get with this thin bar and the short profile socket. So then all you do with that is you push that down, push that forward. If I can just rest that, I'm not sure if I can show you that particularly well. Okay, so if we slack that off, and you can see there that it slackens the belt enough that you can actually take the belt off, and that's what you need. Now the other tip to bear in mind with the two pulleys that we're changing is, normally when you take the bolts off, you would take it off spinning the bolt to the left, but these are a left-handed thread on these, so you need to turn them in the opposite direction to take them off. There's not a lot of room here, but you can, once they're loose, you can spin them off by hand. That's what I'm doing now. Okay, that's free. So there we go. So that's the old one. I'm not sure if you can pick that up, but if you listen to that, I think it's fairly clear. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. That bearing sounds really quite unhappy. If you can hear that banging noise, that's my neighbour across the road who has either had a row with his wife or forgotten his keys because he can't get back in. Right, so we've got the pulley back on. These have to be tightened up to 53 Newton meters. I don't know what that is in foot pounds, but I'll pop it up on the screen there after I've finished for everyone who does things in foot pounds rather than Newton meters. Okay, so we've got the new pulley in there, and then I need to get this one here. Now, an interesting thing I found with my torque wrench is it doesn't seem to go both ways. So this torque wrench, I don't think, unless someone could tell me differently, is clicks for reverse threads. So that's something to bear in mind. So I'm just going to have to do it up tight. Okay, so let's have a listen to this one. Yep, that does not sound happy at all. So let's get this one changed out and we should be good to go. Okay, so let's stand back on. Let's just slip the belt back. Okay, so that's our new idler pulley. We've got one there, and then the other one just there. Now, when you put the belt tensioner, you have to release the tensioner again to put the belt back on, and just make sure that the belt follows all of the pulleys correctly. And on the ones that you've got there, let's just zoom in a little bit there. On the ones that you've got there with teeth for the V's in the belt, make sure they're all lined up correctly. And on the pulleys here, down there, and so let's go into the car and see how it sounds. Right, let's see how we get on. And our noise is gone. So, good result there. Cheap repair if you do it yourself. Total cost, I think, for those pulleys was £50. Now all I can hear is the turbo, which is good. So that's the end of that video. If you've got any questions, put a comment in the comments section. Give me a like if you found the video useful. Consider subscribing for more content, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.